My biggest gripe with calling Stardew Valley a farming simulator is that it's not really accurate to the entire picture. I feel like when most people think of farming simulator, they think of those Facebook games that grandma still plays. And while these games are fine if all you want to do is farming, there really isn't much else to them. I think a more apt description of Stardew Valley is a life sim, but you focus entirely on farming. So kind of like The Sims, but you actually get to control your character and it didn't get repetitive after like 2.5 hours. Unlike regular farming sims, you get a wide variety of things to do. You can raise animals, farm, fish, mine, forage, create a family, destroy a family, or if you even want to, you can just ignore everything and literally just play Slime Rancher for hours. I don't know why you do that, but at least you have the option. While I could just explain the mechanics and review it like a normal person, allow me to just instead tell you if you'd like this game based on the most accurate scientific method, a personality test. In order to see if this game is for you, we can break this game into 6 main categories that describe a gamer's motivation for wanting to play a game. These categories are action, social, mastery, achievement, immersion, and creativity. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but just believe me when I say that this was made by people much smarter than I, so if you want to read a little bit more into their research, I'll leave links to it in the description below. Now that all that's out of the way, let's start getting into if this game truly is for you. Seeing how actions speak louder than words, and this is the action category, let me just show you some of the high-octane gameplay you can expect in this farming sim. Wow, intense. Yeah, so if you like online games like GTA 5 with cheats enabled or Call of Duty, this game is likely not for you. It has little to no action, it is more meant to be a pleasant romp around the forest while you wait for your greenhouse of ancient fruit to grow. There isn't much more to say than if you are an adrenaline junkie, you won't have fun here. Social is split into 2 main categories, competition and community. Competition describes games that scratch that itch of proving you're better than everyone else, while community describes games' ability to build a supportive network of like-minded players. Stardew Valley is not in any way a competitive game. It definitely won't be seeing its own esports scene anytime soon, unfortunately. However, if you are more looking to socialize instead of compete, Stardew Valley is perfect. Like Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley is a perfect relaxing game to play with friends, so while it's not very competitive, I would still consider Stardew Valley relatively high on the social rating. Master describes if a game has mechanics that can be, quite simply, mastered. Think of chess or any esports game. As previously mentioned, Stardew Valley isn't really an esports game, it doesn't really test your skill, so obviously doesn't score very high here. While getting to floor 100 of the Skull Cavern does take some skill, it's probably not something to brag to your friends about. If you're like me and can't achieve anything in life, you probably want a game that can trick yourself into thinking you could. Lucky for you, games high in the achievement category are perfect for this. If the game has a bunch of cool rewards or goals to achieve, it scores high here. While not the main focus, Stardew Valley does lend itself nicely to this sort of gameplay incentive. There are plenty of villagers to befriend, crops to plant, artifacts to find, and slimes to kill. While these achievements may not be particularly thrilling, there are still plenty of them to keep the achievement hunters happy.
Put on these glasses, and you'll enter the world of the game.
A game with high immersion will be one with a story and a world that really pulls you in. While these are often seen in the fantasy genre, it is by no means limited to games like this. Any game that has an in-depth story and interesting characters will have high levels of immersion. While Stardew Valley doesn't have an objectively deep story, it is still interesting and engaging enough to where players will keep coming back. Creative games are great sources of expression and discovery. They often allow you to customize the game to your taste and an interesting world for you to explore. Stardew Valley provides this and more, with many creative options from creating your own character to customizing the inside of your home. More fundamentally, you are given the creativity to choose how you play by not being forced into any predetermined path of progression. This allows each day to be completely in your hands as you discover what kind of life you want to build for yourself. Creativity is another one of Stardew Valley's strongest aspects. Stardew Valley scores the highest in creativity and achievement. If you like games like Animal Crossing, Story of Seasons, formerly known as Harvest Moon, or Minecraft, then you will certainly enjoy yourself. If you much prefer adrenaline games with lots of action and skills that can be mastered, you may quickly find yourself bored. It wasn't obvious from the ludicrous amount of time I spent playing this game, Stardew Valley holds a special place in my heart, and I highly encourage anyone to try the game out. If you've ever played a Harvest Moon or Story of Seasons game, Stardew Valley is the pinnacle of this style of game. Even if you're on the fence, I guarantee Stardew Valley will win your heart.